Hey everyone, and welcome to my craft room. A bit of late in the day today. I've had my day off and I made a fairly, well, I think a fairly nice card, so I thought I'd share with you how to do it. It's actually what they call an exploding box card, and surprise surprise, I've used the Happiness Surrounds set from the Snowflake Showcase again. Yeah, I really love this one. You guys are going to get absolutely sick of videos featuring this card set, this stamp set. Just bear with me for a minute. I'm getting my iPad set up, turning the volume down. Yeah, so basically I had an order from somebody this morning to make one for their goddaughter, and it turned out so well I thought I'd have a go for my own mum. So here we go. I've cut out all the pieces because basically the thing takes about it took me about 3 hours. You guys will probably be a lot quicker than that, but it took me about 3 hours to put the first one together, and I didn't want to have to do a 3-hour video. So here we go. So basically what you start with your 3 pieces of your base colour, 3 A4 pieces of cardstock. You're basically cutting a square. If you can imagine this as a square, the first one is 8 1/4 inches in both directions, and you score into 9 segments. As I say, don't worry, all these instructions and the pre-cut measurements are actually in my blog, or will be in my blog by the end of the weekend, so I'll put a link to that in the comments here. Hi Kay, thanks for joining me, and Wendy as well. Hi guys, sorry for the short notice, but nice and quiet here at the moment, so I thought I'd grab the opportunity. Anyway, so this is 8 1/4 inches both ways, scored into 9, and then you can see you cut out the corners. The next one is 3/8 of an inch smaller, so it's actually 7 7/8 inch square, and again scored in 2 directions to make 9 squares. And you'll find that those measurements actually cut down into 3s quite easily, so as I say, I'll put those instructions on my blog. And the last one is 7 1/2 inches square, so 7 1/2 inches square, scored, so that's 2 1/2 inches, 5 inches both ways, and then the corners cut out. So you basically get sort of like a red cross, but it's not red. This colour actually is Bermuda, yeah, what is it? Tell me. Bermuda Bay. So yeah, so we basically Bermuda Bay with this one. So that's the exploding part of the card. What makes it a box is that you also make a lid. So a lid for a box this size, you start with a piece of cardstock that's 5 inches square. You score it 1 inch from each edge, so that's 1 inch there, scored, 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 and scored. And then you actually do little scores, and I don't know if you can see that, in the corners. So you score from where those 2 lines cross to the corner, cross to the corner, cross to the corner, cross to the corner. And so when you fold it, you can see you fold all these edges down. These triangles, they are sort of felled in on each other to form the lid. So I've actually positioned my double-sided tape there so that when I fold those, which I will in a minute, the double-sided tape will seal them nicely. You also want to pop some double-sided tape or glue or something on the back so that those little flaps fold in. I don't know if you can see that. The sun's decided to, bear with me, I'll just close my blinds. The sun's decided to set in the horizon. Oh, we might lose the light completely. How's that? Oh, still a bit bad. Cool, that might be better. Okay, so that's the lid. I'll assemble that in a second. Okay, so we've got our exploding element here. We've got quite a few shadows now. I'll see. see if I just turn that light off, guys. See what it looks like. That might be all right. Okay, cool. If it gets too dark, let me know. So we've got our exploding element here. So as you can see, I'm going to score those. I'm going to I'll find my bone folder. I'm going to make those edges nice and sharp. Bone folder. Eek, there it is. Oh, no, this one will do. Haven't been able to find my bone folder for a while, actually. Must have fallen down somewhere. Anyway, each of these little crosses, I will score the edges down. Oh, I'm glad it's making sense, Wendy. It took me a bit to work it out, but once I saw somebody doing it, it made a lot more sense. So, and the last big one. That's just scoring those so they're nice and sharp. Okay, so what I do now is to form the box is I sort of glue them into each other, sort of like a Russian doll, the smaller one into the big one and then the smaller one inside again. So a little bit of glue on the back of that one. Now it is important to line them up so that they are evenly positioned on each other and square with each other, just so that it'll fold properly when you go to fold it over. And just this little one here. I'll pop him on the top there, and again making sure they're as even and as square with each other as they possibly can. Okay, so fundamentally that, without the bells and whistles, is our box, if you can imagine that. So I might actually make the lid now, and then we can see the whole thing made, you know, basically. So as I say, we've got a 5-inch square piece of cardstock with an inch score everywhere, and these little triangles scored in the edge. So if I remove my double-sided tape on both sides, bring the edges together so that it grips, and then grips on the back as well, you'll get a nice hospital folded corner. So the same here. I mean, you guys, you know, there's lots of videos and you guys have made boxes as well, so I think it's a fairly standard box lid. I've taken my glasses off so I can't actually see the comments now. Terrible of oh, thanks. Yes, Wendy, it is better than without the lights, I think. Yeah, so it's a terrible getting a bit old. You either got your glasses on, your glasses off. Sometimes neither is particularly satisfactory. Anyhow, there we go. That's the last one. Oh, there. And fold them, and we've got our little lid. It's quite hoopy, isn't it? Anyway, hi Chrissy, thanks for joining me. It's short notice, but I thought I'd get this one done before the evening got too far away from me. So there's our lid. So what we'll actually have to do, now the fun bit begins. You've got your basics, you've got your exploding box and your lid. So if you guys can imagine that, that's basically what you've made. And then when the recipient takes the lid off, it sort of opens up to this explosion. Anyway, so let's do the decorating. So as I say, I've resorted to form and used the Happiness Surrounds stamp set. So we've got Bermuda Bay as our base card. I've also got some silver foil, quite a lot of silver foil, and this one is Coastal Cabana, and I think they go really well there. We've got a bit of contrast happening, but within that sort of cool green theme. So basically, as you can see, you've got lots of panels that you're going to be decorating, plus the outside. So I think I'll just run through the panels that I've got. I've actually got 9 panels of the largest size. So if you can imagine, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, the lid plus the 4 inner panels, inside one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 there as well. So 9 panels, which are silver is 2.5 inches square, and the Coastal Cabana is 2 3/8 square. So they are for the outside. I've got, for the next layer in, we've just got 4, and I have to remember which ones are which. These ones, I think. So these ones, I've just got 4 of these, 4 silver in 3 3/8, and 4 Coastal Cabana in 2 1/4 inch. So that's those there, and I've already stamped these because I didn't think you'd want to sit here and watch me stamping. So they're already stamped, so that's the 4 there. And then for the very inside, you've got 5. So if you can imagine it, here you've got 5. You've got 1 for the base and the 4 that go around the edge. So you've got 5 of the smallest size, and they are, the silver is 5. The silver is 2 1/4 inch, and the Coastal Cabana is 2 1/8 inch. But as I say, all the measurements will be in my blog. So basically that's, they go there. So I thought I'd just stamp this one, the one for the lid, just to show what I've done. I've actually used the Coastal Cabana ink just to give a little bit of a colour without too much, just a little highlight of colour. Just this beautiful big stamp here, which I adore. Hi Chrissy. No, thanks for joining me. So they're just the big one here. So this is the big one. I have to get my what order. So I basically get it on as much, because it's a bit of a tight fit. It will actually go over the edge on a couple of bits, but just get it on there as much as you can. And I actually will push it down because I'm not using my foam underneath. Just push it down a little bit to make sure the ink transfers. And so there you've got the big one. Might just, if I've got, give that a bit of a clean. And then I've got from the stamp set, I've got this pretty sort of central leaves, spiral of leaves. Well, not spiral, but circle of leaves. Just position that one so that it basically fits in, sort of in the meant to go together, so that it sort of forms the axes of the big stamp. So there you see, it's bringing it into another level. And then from the same set, I've got this little flower, and I'm just using the same colour, and I'll just bring that one in so it forms the centre. Just line that up. There we go. So it's sort of like a, I want to say Mandela sort of. Hi Hannah, thanks for joining me. Yeah, one of those you know, really nice sort of, that they have the henna tattoos. You often see that. Very sort of Indian subcontinent sort of pattern. So we've got that one, so that's for the lid, and I'll just quickly stick that to its piece of silver. And that's all my panels complete. Okay, so we might as well start. Actually, I might do the lid. So as I say, that one is going to be on the lid there. So I'll just glue that straight on. No ceremony there, just pop it straight on. Now the one I did earlier today, I actually popped the recipient's name on the top. I have a Old Faithful, like really Old Faithful alphabet die, which I use. The letters are quite little, they're only like 1/2 inch high, and the girl had the girl had a really long name, so I needed I put the name across the top. I've actually packed it up now. I would have shown you, but the picture is on my, will be on my, eventually be on my page. But so you did that. This one, I think I'll probably put my mum's name across it, but I'll do that later. But that's quite sweet. You can see that. And also what I thought I would do is using some of this glorious ribbon that I just got. I thought I'd pop that around the edge like this. So just to give it a little bit of, just to break up that block of Bermuda Bay colour. So I'm just using double-sided tape. Forgive me, it's not Stampin' Up, but works for me. Just take it all the way, and it's not going to stick perfectly earlier, and it's going to stick where it's not supposed to. There we go. Just take it all the way around the box. There. And there. And just take it a little bit. Oh, this is silver. Take it a little bit onto the last side. Start it. Oops, sorry, can't see, can you? Just take it all off. There. Oh. Stick it there so it slightly overlaps where you started off. So you can see that goes all the way around. And I'll just start the ribbon somewhere here. And I'll stick that all the way as evenly as I can. All the way around. Thanks, Kay. Thanks for popping on. And there. And then just bring it to there. So there, basically stops that there. Trim it off. Oh, trimmed it a little bit short. That doesn't matter. I do actually have, and I'll use it here, I made myself a little bow with the same ribbon, and I'm not great with bows, so I did it separately because I didn't want you to see me stumbling with the bow. I'm redoing it a million times. So I've got a little Stampin' Up glue dot there. Just add that to the back of the bow. And attach it just where that didn't quite meet. There we go. And what I also might do is just force the bow into a bit of submission by putting a glue dot behind each of those little bows, bits of the bow as well. So just get another glue dot and one behind there. So I wonder how Donna and Julia are going. Donna's got the dinner tonight. I hope they are having a good time. Yes, I do need a bow easy. I did see one. Somebody had one their husband was making, or their husband made them and sold them, which I thought was quite clever. But yes, I don't usually use a lot of ribbon, so I will just suffer in silence and do them off camera for the moment anyway. Okay, I'm not really a bow person, but anyway, that's all good. Thankfully my mother is, so she'll like this. Just trim that off a bit. It's actually frayed where I've been mucking around with it. Cool. So there you go. How's that? That's quite pretty, I think. So just on the lid. So that's the lid actually done, apart from, say, if you're going to put the name, or I actually thought maybe a big snowflake there. If you're doing a Christmas one, a big snowflake would be nice. Anyway, so that's the lid done. We'll come back to this part here. Come back to this part here. So we might just do the central layer, and then you guys can, you know, just work, you know, the rest of it's much the same. If I just do the centre, you'll see what I was actually planning on doing. So here we have our 5 small panels that are going to obviously go in each of those squares. Just add them, and then I'll show you what I did to actually do a little bit more decorating. So I'll just pop that one in the middle. So as I say, the one that I did this morning, I actually put the girl was 18, so the lady, I put a nice big 18 in gold in the centre, sort of like as a focal point. With this one, I'm actually going to buy my mother a, oh, I hope she's not watching, don't watch Mum. I'm actually going to buy my mum a like a Christmas decoration or something, and I might actually make sure and put it in the box so that when it goes bang, there's like a little Christmas decoration there, because her birthday is so close to Christmas. Okay, so all right, so that's that one, and I'll just continue. Sorry, I'm just trying to read comments with without my glasses on, so forgive me. I am actually pretty short-sighted. I'll pop that one on there. Getting glue everywhere here. And this one here. And this one. So yes, it's about as interesting as watching paint dry at the moment, I'm sure, but anyway, I'll be there in a minute. I just want to make sure these are straight, since I actually want to use this one. It's not just going to be a sample. I do actually want to use it, so I'm going to try and be a little bit careful. And that one there, where's the edge of it there? You could actually, if you wanted to, and I think that's what I did this morning, was actually decorate each of these layers first and then pop them together. Hey Linda, thanks for popping on. A little bit short notice. As I say, I'm nearly finished now, but I will put a link to my blog where all the measurements of the various layers and things will be by the end of the weekend. So if you want to pop on there, and I'll also put a product list and all that, so for reference. Anyway, as you can see, I think that's really, really nice, even as it is. So as I say, you could do that central layer, put like a snowflake on it or something like that. Or as I said this morning, I put the 18, that the person was 18 or 21, put an age or something there. As I say, with this one, I'm going to actually use it as a gift box, so that's where the present will actually sit. What I actually had planned for the other panels, though, because this is for my mum, who I hope's not watching, and she has various grandchildren of various ages and persuasions. I've actually got these little pictures of her various grandchildren, which I've cut out. I printed them on my printer this morning on photo paper, but I suppose if you had just, if you didn't mind cutting up photos, you could just find appropriate photos and cut those up. And I did actually cut them with the layered shapes. So this is layered squares. That's what I've used to cut these ones out. So I picked the size that not only fit the picture, but also fit the little panel there as well. So what I'll be doing is that's actually my two boys there, so I don't mind showing you those. I know people get sensitive about their children being on Facebook, so mine are old enough now that it's not too much of a worry. Oh, apart from when I embarrass them and they don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'll pop, so the card's going to, you look down at the card like that. So probably on this inside panel just have the photos sort of in this sort of orientation. So that's that one there. I think that, oh, it's come off, my fingers are very gluey. Just this sort of makes this sort of like a little a mini album too. So it's a gift box mini album exploding card. It's, yeah, all things to all people. So that's that one. These are my niece and nephew here. My mother's other grandchildren. And I'll pop them probably facing inwards as well. Here. Yeah, so there. Oh, not going to stick. I prefer to stick to my hands. Just forgive me for a minute. Try and get the glue off my hands. Okay, so that's that there. So that's sort of 2 grandchildren. And on the other 2, I don't want to do too many photos. I've actually used the die set, the SnowFall Thinlits set. These are the flowers from it. I have this sort of larger one in the Bermuda Bay. I have this one, the next size down, in the Coastal Cabana, and I've put this tiny one in silver. So I'm just going to pop those, glue those together, layer them up. Again, with far too much glue. Hey Tammy, thanks for dropping on. Yes, you can see what I've been doing with my Friday. This one would be a class all on its own, I reckon. It takes hours. But if you guys are interested, we can do it in the new year. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's a little 3-layer flower. I think that's quite cute. It sort of follows that, keeps that sort of Middle Eastern Moroccan sort of theme happening. So what I'll do is I'll pop those in the other, and I've got some other ones here. So I'll pop those on the other panels there. And again, because they're in a set together, they actually fit perfectly. They match perfectly with the elements of the stamp. The sort of the nooks and crannies match with each other. There we go. Okay. So that's the first layer of the card. So we've got 2 pictures there. There's my boys and my brother's kids there. So basically you just continue on. So the next layer of panels, I'll pop in there in the next layer, like that. And I have another couple of pictures. Got this one. So what I thought with the other one, I put under the panel that I have the flower, I actually pop a photo. So I'll pop, when I'm off camera, I'll pop that one on there. And another grandkitty there. And then on the final layer, again, we've got 4 more panels and 2 more pictures, and I've got some more flowers as well. So as you can see, it's going to be 2 pictures and 2 flowers per level. I won't do that now, but you know, you just continue the pattern down. And the outside, so let's just get rid of all that, put that to the side. On the outside, I've actually got these panels that I printed, that I've stamped with the 3 stamps. So I'll actually pop those on the outside, and then you can see the final card. So just bear with me and you will see the final, you know, constructed card without, you know, in its glory. And its lid, I'll pop its lid on. I've got that one. And don't get mixed up, could be tragic. I would actually have to cry on film if I mucked this one up. And this one. wouldn't mind being blind as a bat, Chrissy. It's like different angles that you, you know, like you want to see far away, you've got this pair of glasses, and you want to see close up, you've got another pair. And I think I've got about 3 pairs of sunglasses, 3 pairs of glasses in my handbag. It's a matter of what I'm doing, you know, and I work on the computer during the day at work, and I've got a different pair of glasses for that, and it's, yeah, it's not fun. But I suppose it could be worse. Okay, so that's the 4 outside panels in all their glory. Make sure they're on properly. I'll flip that over so you can see that's what's going to greet the recipient when she opens her card on her birthday. And I'll present it to her. Where's my lid? Lid! Here, my lid. So the lid just fits over there. And that's it. So that's the card. I don't know that it qualifies as a card. It's one of those, what do we call, 3D creations. So there's the, you know, basically I just present it like that. Off comes the lid. Ta-da! And then each of those layers will have little flowers and pictures of the grandkiddies, and whatever I choose to buy her will be in the centre there. I've actually got an image in my brain. It's got to have to be a crystal Christmas tree, but it as to whether I can find one that's the right height is another matter. Anyway, something in there, and that's it. So that's the card. I did, as I say, I did most of the a jewellery box, maybe a jewellery box. Yeah, she'd love that. It'd just have to have something. Don't know what I could afford to put in it. But anyway, that's the card that I made earlier today. As I say, the instructions will be on my blog by the end of the weekend. Got a bit of escape there. Yeah, so it's a lot of work, but I think it's actually quite spectacular. And I'm really pleased that I discovered the method. I'll be making some more of those. Anyway, the stamp, as I mentioned, is the Happiness Surround. The flowers are cut with the SnowFall Thinlit dies, and the colours are Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana with some silver thrown in for good measure. All of these products available online with me, and if you buy anything from, if you place an order that includes anything from the Snowflake Showcase while it's available to the end of November, I will send you some, what was it? I will send you some dimensionals absolutely free as a thank you from me. But make sure you leave me your address on your order so I can do that. So anything from the Happiness Surrounds, I will send you some dimensionals to say thank you. Anyway, so that's about it. I do have some other specials and things at the moment, but if you go to my website, you'll be able to see what they actually are. Thanks again for joining me, everyone. Thanks, Angie. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks, Chrissy, and everyone else that has on, and everyone who watches afterwards. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you later. Bye.